So if you're looking for a way that you can learn from and really work with your rage that's completely accessible, totally free, that you can probably pause this video and do after you watch this video, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Brittany Rochelle, and I'm an anger alchemist teaching you how to alchemize your rage to live a magnificently melanated life. And today I'm talking about this simple practice that's actually really intuitive, that you may or may not be doing or have experience doing before, and essentially how you can do this to really learn from your rage. So often when I talk about being an anger alchemist, number one, no one knows what that is. And number two, so many of us are taught and have the experience growing up that when you're angry, that's bad, that you can't be around people, that you shouldn't be around people, that you have an attitude, that you need to, take that emotion and stuff it all the way in the back of the closet and never let it come out. Or if you're resentful, or if you're jealous, or if you're bitter, all these emotions or experiences that we have, that we come up against in our lives, especially as Black and brown people, if you're not angry, then may or may not really be that conscious as to what's going on in the world and with your own lived experience. And yet so often, because we're taught that these emotions are bad, we kind of stuff them away and we repress them. And then you meet an anger alchemist who's learn how to leverage your anger to create the life of your dreams, and learn how to leverage and really redirect your resentment to have undeniable, unshakable power and self-possession. You might look at me a little crazy. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you a way that you can actually start to learn from and leverage your rage that you may or may not have already had some experience with. So growing up in the Black American church, it was a lot of a lot of things. But one of the things was a very inhabited or liberated, embodied way of religion. So I didn't grow up in a culture where we sat quietly in neat rows and never made any movements or sound. I grew up where people were running around the church, and where people would get up and shout and dance as a way of experiencing divinity within their own body. And the more I've learned about my own African spirituality, my own heritage as being a part of the African diaspora, I've learned that these are actually traditional rituals and customs that were happening long before mass colonization and the slave trades. And so it's been so powerful to actually reclaim this inherent sense of being in our bodies. And actually, the Western world is somewhat catching up to this deep wisdom and knowledge that we as people in the African diaspora have held for centuries. And specifically, I'm talking about trauma experts, people like Dr. Bessel van der Kolk or Peter Levine, really understanding and learning about how much trauma or any scary experiences that we go through, they aren't held in our logical mind where we can sit quietly on a therapist's couch and just talk about them, and that will help heal or change our lives or get rid of our anger. They actually are stored within our body. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk has this incredible book called The Body Keeps the Score. There are books all around somatic, aka body-based ways that really help you heal and change and transform your lives. In our case, alchemizing your rage to really have an access to your own deeper power source, and doing that through getting in touch with the body. And so my process, the practice that I'm sharing with you today, is really something that I've coined myself as body storming. I haven't heard this term before, so let me know, but if not, I'm gonna be the founding mother of body storming. So it's kind of like brainstorming, where you sit down in a room or something, or you're on a whiteboard and you're just coming up with ideas, as many ideas as you can. And they don't have to be good ideas. Some of the ideas are super weird or impractical, or we could never do that. But your just goal is to get as many ideas out as possible. And it's really this space where you give yourself time, permission, the container to just let your mind wander and do whatever your mind wants to do. And so I use this same technique, but with the body, because all of our lived experiences, all of our microaggressions, our super racist second grade teacher, our problematic boss, all of these things really not only live in our mind as like memories, but they're also stored within our own very cells, within the tissue in our body. And so body storming is essentially where you kind of do the same thing as brainstorming, but with your body, where you get in a space where you have like safety and somewhat sound privacy, and you really allow yourself to experience and to do whatever your body wants to do. So this may be shaking or rocking or kicking or stomping your feet, really anything that lets your body have the experience that it wants to have. And so this is such a powerful way to learn from your anger, because number one is knowing that your anger is not something that is going to be like rationally, neatly tucked away because you had a conversation. So oftentimes we're angry about things that, yes, we absolutely have every right to be, given the colonial structures that we live in that are built on our own demise. And then sometimes we're just angry at a partner or at a friend, and even if we don't have a specific logical reason for it, we still have the experience of anger in our body. And I use this practice on a regular, literally everyday basis, allowing myself time to shake or to moan or to scream or to rock or to kick, to do really anything that my body wants to do. And it's one of the most powerful, transformative ways to really create the experience of learning from and processing and alchemizing your rage, your resentment, your bitterness, and your jealousy. And if you want to get even more tools around how to do this, I invite you to check out my totally free ebook called Oneonone, A Reclamation, where I'm giving you way more tips and tools around how you can get in touch with your own black or brown body through really embracing your lived experience. And so we're told to really like stuff down all of that anger and resentment and bitterness, and then make logical, like balanced, reasonable decisions, which oftentimes doesn't work. Or sometimes we can swing the opposite direction and have angry outbursts or be addicted to being in a constant state of rage and resentment and anger. And that, in my opinion, is kind of overindulging or swinging the other side to really allowing your anger to control you. And in my experience, and in the experience of many, many clients, I've seen the more we get in touch and feel and learn from our anger from a body first way, then we can really show up in our lives with our coworkers, with our friends, with our family members in that like super centered, balanced, logical place, because we've allowed our body to really experience whatever it needs to experience, so then we can move forward. And so if you want to get even more ways to do this, check out my free ebook, Oneonone, A Reclamation. But if you want to work one-on-one with me, because I know I give you as much as I can in these videos, but there's only so much of the magic that can translate. And so if you're ready and willing to do one-on-one coaching to really go deep into your own anger and resentment and learn how to alchemize that and become even more powerful in your life, I invite you to check out one-on-one coaching with me. Either way, I invite you to set a timer for 4 minutes and go into a room or a bathroom and let yourself shake. Let yourself wail or sigh or moan or rock or do whatever your body wants to do. And just notice, like literally just for like 3 or 4 minutes, how you feel after that and the way that you're able to show up in your life after you have a nice body storming session. All right, I'll see you in my next video.